If someone were to sum up my life in one word, hectic would probably do the trick. I'm Noah Walker, a 16-year-old girl with a boy's name and a reputation for being the school's running joke. My name has been the punchline of every bad joke and sarcastic comment, ever since I could spell it. The name Noah gets smirks from teachers on roll call day and laughter that echoes off the cracked halls of Jefferson. High like it's some kind of sitcom canned laughter. It's Noah, are you sure you're not on the boys list? Kids tease every single year, I've learned. To tune them out, mostly, but there's only so much you can ignore. When even teachers accidentally blurt out, "Oh, I thought that was a typo," as if my identity was some kind of clerical error. I tell myself it's just a name, but on hard days like today, wish I were just Emma, or Sarah, or something normal. At Jefferson High, it's not just the name that makes me stand out. My life itself is a mess, and people seem to sense it, like they can smell desperation or something. Our house is small, so small that it feels more like a glorified shoebox than a home. My dad, well, let's just say he made some bad choices. Gambling, drinking, and more gambling. A year ago, we had a decent life. My mom worked 2 jobs, and Dad had a steady position managing a local hardware store. But then Dad decided to take a risk, as he calls it. Except the risk turned into a full-blown disaster, and now we live in a 2-bedroom rental on the outskirts of town, with peeling wallpaper and 1 bathroom. 1 bathroom for 4 people. Mom, Dad, my little brother, and me. You'd think this wouldn't be too bad, till you try to get ready for school, while everyone else has the same idea. Every morning is chaos. I practically have to fight for a turn at the sink, especially when my brother Kyle takes a full 20 minutes just staring at his reflection. Gel in hand, trying to tame the single tuft of hair that sticks up no matter what. Mom, Kyle's hogging the mirror again. I yell every day, "It's my hair, Noah." "You wouldn't understand," he yells back, his voice cracking, his 11-year-old self practically drowning in melodrama. But the worst of it is Dad. He's up before any of us, drinking his coffee like it's the only thing keeping him alive. He's grumpy, unshaven, and always in a rush. Sometimes, it feels like he slams on the bathroom door, just to remind us all who's boss. It's all a routine, now fighting over toothpaste, racing to the toilet, and occasionally tripping over someone's wet towel. If hell had a bathroom, this would be it. There's only one bright spot in my otherwise bleak existence. Liam. Liam Carmichael is the kind of boy who seems like he walked straight out of a movie. He's tall, probably 6'1", with dark, messy hair that always looks perfectly imperfect. His face is sharp but soft in all the right places. His hazel eyes are warm enough to make you forget that he could ruin you with just one look. And his smile, that's his secret weapon. It's the kind of smile that has a delayed effect. It hits you about 2 seconds later, when your brain realizes, wow, he's smiling at me. Liam has this quiet charm that draws people in. He doesn't even have to try. He's athletic, too, always playing soccer on the field after school, his toned arms and legs moving like poetry in motion. Girls like Tiffany Clark, who somehow manages to look flawless even while running laps in gym class, practically throw themselves at him. Me, I'm invisible. Just the girl with the boy's name who wears scuffed sneakers and a ponytail that's almost always messy. Still, there's a part of me that's convinced Liam is different. I see him helping younger kids pick up their books when they drop them in the hallway. I've seen him smiling at the old lady who works in the cafeteria, when no one else bothers to look her in the eye. It's the little things, you know? One time, just once, he noticed me. "Hey Noah," he'd said, flashing that heart-melting smile in my direction. Cool shoes. I'd looked down at my old sneakers covered in black Sharpie doodles and nodded like a complete idiot. "Thanks," I'd muttered, cheeks blazing red. For the rest of the day, I floated through my classes like I was walking on air. Tiffany Clark could have run me over with her designer backpack, and I still wouldn't have cared. By Friday, I'd mostly pushed the week's frustrations out of my mind. My life moved forward at its usual hectic pace, tripping over laundry baskets, rushing to school, and ducking my head whenever someone called my name across the hall. But then, something strange happened. I was sitting in math class, doodling on the corner of my notebook, when Liam Carmichael turned around in his chair and looked straight at me. "Hey Noah," he said softly. My heart did that stupid, fluttery thing it always does when he talks to me. "Yeah, you okay? You seem kinda distracted lately." Distracted? Did Liam Carmichael actually notice me enough to know I was distracted? "Yeah, I'm fine," I stammered. "Just life, you know." He smiled, that perfect, crooked smile. "Yeah, I get it." And then he turned back around like it was nothing, leaving me sitting there like a stunned goldfish. Sharing a bathroom with my family is like being in a war zone. You have to strategize, move fast, and sometimes even take risks. I've learned to wake up earlier than everyone else just to get 5 minutes of peace. But last Tuesday, things went sideways. I'd just managed to grab the bathroom first. It was 6:10 a.m., and the house was still quiet except for the groan of pipes as I turned on the sink. I stared at my tired reflection, freckles scattered across my nose, hair piled up in a lopsided bun, and a zit threatening to take over my forehead. Great. By the time I'd just taken off my clothes to shower, I heard heavy footsteps outside. "Dad. He's never patient in the morning. Is anyone in there?" he barked. "Yeah, Dad, I've just..." But before I could finish, the doorknob twisted, and the door swung open. The bathroom door creaked open, and for one horrible moment, everything froze. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My dad stood there, frozen too, eyes wide with the same horror I felt. There I was, no clothes like the day I was born, and my whole body was paralyzed. Then I noticed something weird. My dad's banana in his towel stood, like it was ready to eat someone. "Dad," I shrieked, yanking the nearest towel to my chest. "Oh, sorry, Noah," he stammered, his face flushed as red as mine. He backed out of the room so fast he nearly tripped over his own feet, slamming the door shut behind him. I stood there, trembling, my heart pounding in my ears so loudly I couldn't hear anything else. My hands clutched the towel, and my face burned so hot I thought it might melt off completely. That was the start of the worst week of my life. For the next 2 days, Dad and I pretended the other didn't exist. He stopped drinking his coffee in the kitchen in the mornings and instead retreated to the living room, where the TV blared sports highlights. I didn't even look in his direction as I rushed to pack my bag for school. At dinner, we sat in silence. Mom tried to make small talk, but the tension stretched across the room like an invisible wire, ready to snap. "Pass the salt, Noah," Mom said one night, her voice unusually bright, trying too hard. I reached for it without looking up. "Thanks," Dad mumbled. I didn't respond. At school, I kept replaying the scene in my head, over and over, like a bad movie I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't even tell my best friend what had happened because the embarrassment was just too much. By Thursday, Mom had had enough. I found her waiting for me after school, arms crossed, tapping her foot. "Come on," she said. "Where?" I muttered, too tired to argue. "To fix this ridiculous standoff," she said, dragging me inside when we got home. She sat me down at the kitchen table and called Dad. He appeared in the doorway, clearly uncomfortable, rubbing the back of his neck. He wouldn't look at me. "Sit, both of you," Mom commanded. We sat like two kids, caught misbehaving. "Look," Mom said, exasperated. "It was an accident. A stupid, embarrassing accident. And the two of you are acting like strangers because of it. Apologize." Dad cleared his throat. He trailed off, looking ashamed. I stared at the table, my cheeks burning again. "It's fine," I muttered. "Can you two talk like normal humans now?" Mom asked. I sighed, finally looking up at him. "Just knock next time." "I will." Promise, Dad said quickly. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough. For now.